Welcome, John Sparks, here in the Business Grow Support podcast stage. Please, what's your story in a nutshell?
I'm a fourth generation real estate geek and lifelong traveler. My family has been in property for over 150 years, but very, very quickly I realized that with a small budget, you can never get into property. And this really played on my mind for literally 3 decades. What got me really into property was in sort of early 2000s. I was headhunted to Europe to manage one of the world's wealthiest families. My whole life was property. Every day I got up and it was just property, property, property. This is where the real money in property is made, from the development stage, from your buildings coming out of the ground.
So tell us more what the company is doing and why it's so interesting for investors.
And I think and this is why I brought Quantum to the fore, is, the 101 of happiness is short-term liquidity. You need to go to sleep well at night and know the next morning you wake up, you've got enough liquidity to eat, sleep, just enjoy life. And then most important why I get up every single morning is property and Quantum, because this creates timeless wealth. When I got back from working for the high net worth family, I developed over 200 residential homes. And that's where I realized where your timeless wealth comes from. He just bought property and now he lives quite happily as an 89-year-old, just with 4 properties, but getting the rent from those 4 properties.
So from your perspective, is that the best way to grow your business, what you're just explaining?
Well, grow your wealth really at the end of the day. So, I just want to go back a little bit with property, because it really is so important that people understand why property is so important. And that's why I brought Quantum in, to allow everybody in this world, literally everybody in this world, to invest in property, whether you're going to invest in 100% of the property, or as Quantum has come up with, what we call fractional ownership, whether you're going to get by 5% of the property. And then on top of that, with Quantum, you can pay that 5% over up to 36 months. You are an investment property holder. And that is what Quantum REI does. This is really the 101 of economics, is your demand and supply. So we're literally doubling the demand for a roof over your head every single day. And in the UK, because I specialize really in the United Kingdom, I do go worldwide as well. There's already in the UK, there's a 60-40 demand split. So little housing for so many people. So really, it's a landlord's market.
How do you see the AI wave shaping your industry?
AI is a new world. It's like when the mobile phone came out, but I think it's greater. AI is going to bring a huge amount of energy, or we're going to be able to reach so many more people, and so many more people are going to be able to understand why investment property is so good, and how easily it is to get into. Also from AI, it will make our work much easier in the sense of the background. It will point us in directions of places that we really should go and look at. But at the end of the day, the most important thing about Quantum REI is it can be tech enabled, but it has to be human led, because we have to walk the streets too, and we have to look at the developer in his eye or her eye and make sure that this property is going to be finished on time, is going to not fail us, and is going to bring that positive cash flow into that person's pocket on a monthly basis, because we only go into property that brings positive income, meaning the rent will cover your mortgage or your developer's loan, as we sometimes do. So it's really every month, whether you're getting £200 in your back pocket or £2,000 in your back pocket, but every month you will be getting money coming into your back pocket.
Yes, very wise these words, John. And do you have a last advice from your perspective, which could be really valuable for our audience, since you have so much experience in your niche?
Christine, I'm a little bit biased, so my only advice is buy property, get into investment property. It's not I don't own one property that I live in. All my money goes into investment properties. I rent all my properties because I'm not making money out of a property I'm living in. Purely, I'd rather put my money into a property that is giving me property that I help people get into through Quantum RIE in the 2020s. And I'll come back to that 2020, have all doubled in price. So in 5 years, every single one has doubled in price. But I always look at property in a 5-year period. You're still making money, but you're not making the real money.
Thank you for this advice, John, and for having you here on the podcast.
Christine, thanks very much for having me. I really appreciate it.